Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I want to talk about a newly released plugin, which is actually an addition to an older plugin, but it's MCabinetMB. So, of course, I showed you MCabinet a few months ago, sometime during the summer, but now recently they released MCabinetMB, and you're wondering, like, what is this? It's basically a multi-band version of MCabinet. And of course, it can do what you typically think of as multi-band processing, but it can do some other cool stuff that I want to show you and how you can use this to make your own interesting and cool sounds. So what I have here is I just have a IR loaded up of, this is like a red back. And so this one is a little bit dark, but I did that on purpose. I wanted to choose like two but completely different IRs. So I'll let you hear what this sounds like. Okay, now I'll show you another one. This is a really cool feature too, because it has like slot A and B, so you can easily AB or AC, AH things and see which sound you like. So here on B, I have more of a greenback sound, so I'll let you hear that now. So you can hear this one is really bright. So the first one, A, is a little bit darker than what I would usually use. B. So A is darker than what I generally like. B is a little bit brighter than what I generally like. But I'll show you how you can mix these together to create some new sounds. So if you think, oh, I can blend these together. So let's go into C here. So C, I have nothing on here. See, everything is completely blank. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this high pass and low pass off. You don't have to do that, but it just does sometimes alter the frequency just slightly. But what I mainly want to do here is I want to load something in here. So let's choose Analyze IR and find what we want. Let's try this one, red back. Here. Click OK. Now, you think, okay, this is what we just had before in A. But now you see here the crossover, which I had small there. I made it smaller and minimized it. But it's here. I'm going to right click it. And now I'm just going to insert another band. So now I have the one with the red back, and then I have just something else here. And I'm going to right click this again. And what I'm going to do is change this to disabled. And you're wondering why? The first one, analog, is going to split it by frequency. Disabled is not going to split it at all. So it's like now I have two parallel IRs. Or parallel EQs, I guess. So here in this one, just turn this R1 off. I could design my own like IR and put it in here, but for convenience, let's just use ones that are already what I like. Ones that are already made. So here we go. So now we have one that's like a greenback. Now, when we play this, it should blend both of them together, like this. So now it has the bottom of the red back and also like the high end of the greenback. So I'll let you hear a little bit of the red back. Now blend it together. Okay, here's the greenback. Blend it together. Seeing here, it has kind of like the best of both worlds, perhaps. Generally, I don't know if I'd want to use two IRs that are completely different like this, but I'm just showing this for demonstration purposes. Another thing we can do here is you see this little line here. If we move this, we can move this completely to the left and this one completely to the right, like this. So you can see we have some stereo width now. And of course, another thing we could do here is move this back. If you just drag these and then double click it, it'll move it back to where it was. And then here, this line, we can move the volume up and down. So we can use this like a fader and increase one IR volume or the other like this. So that's one way you can blend it. Another way, if you're just using 2 like this, there's another way to do it. If you want to use like 3 or 4 or 5, you can do that. So by right clicking, I can add more bands, or I can create even up to 6 bands if I wanted. If I wanted to create 6 IRs, for me that's probably too much, but you might want to do that for some reason. But let's say you're just doing 2. We can also change this to level. And you're thinking, what does this do? This does almost the same thing, except the only difference is now it will blend between them, and I can blend them by using this. So I'll let you hear. I'll play through it, and I'll move the level so you can hear what it does. So you can see, you can find the spot in the middle that sounds, just right for you. So let's say if I like this, for example. And I think, that sounds just right to me. The red back, just by itself, sounds a little bit too dark. Green back. Now let's hear the blend. Okay, that one is also giving me kind of like the best of both worlds. And as composed to using the disabled, it's a little bit easier to find the blend. So this one, I didn't have to adjust the output, etc. But I'll show you one more way you can do this, and that is by using this analog crossover. I could use the linear phase too, but I think it just doesn't work as well. And plus, there's latency if you do that. With this analog, there's no latency. So if you want to play it in real time, you can. So with this, now I have it split. So the red back will be for all the frequencies under about, 652, and the green back will be for all the frequencies above that. Or 652, sorry. And I'll move in between them so you can hear what it sounds like. So in this case, you can get like the best of both worlds. So if you have one IR that you think like, I really like the openness of it, the high end's good, but like the low end is really weak, I can blend that with something else, another IR that I like the low end of, and you can put it together and make something that, is not even possible in real life. So you can come up with your own type of IR. So I'll let you hear it on something else, maybe a better one where you can hear more low end. So this one, if this is the right example, I think it is. So this one you can kind of hear the chunkiness. Here it is with just the red back. So that's cool, but it's a little bit dark. This also needs more distortion, that's okay. Here's the green back. Okay, but a little bit too thin. And here's both of them together. So this has the clarity I like on the top end, but it has that huge chunkiness on the bottom end. So for me, this is kind of like the best of both worlds. But one other thing I want to show you, you're probably asking about, like, this is cool, but what if I want to use this in like my hardware model? What if I love this tone, I think I want to use this in whatever hardware model you have that does IRs. So we can get the IR out of here, but it's not as easy as it was before. So it'd be nice if you could just go export IR and just use that, but it's a little bit more difficult than that. So what we're going to do is just go into here, D. You see there's nothing on here. I made my own default patch here, but you see all the R's off, and you see nothing's on here. I'm going to turn off the high pass and low pass filters, and I'm going to do something a little bit strange, but trust me, I'm an expert. Watch this. So go into menu here and hit export IR. And you're thinking, there's no IR there. It's just a flat line. So I'm going to do that, and I'll make this, I'll call it blended IR, whatever you want to call it, and click OK. Okay, so now in your computer, find where that blended IR is, wherever you put it. So I have it here. Now what we're going to do is just go back to C, where I had my split. This is the sound I want. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it here where it says wave, like this. And it'll say, are you sure you want to rewrite the file? Just click yes. And so it's going to change this pulse or a full spectrum pulse into this new sound. So it did all the convolution for me. And if I go into D now and I pull this up, it should show me the new IR I made that blended those two. So blended IR, okay. There we have it. And let's hear them back to back to make sure I actually did this correctly. So this is C. This is D. So you see, everything happened and it worked correctly, etc. And you're wondering, like, why does that work? When you export IR and everything is blank and everything's flat, it's just like exporting a full spectrum, like click or something like that, and then you can easily convolve it using this wave function in here, and it'll apply everything you have for all the bands. And also I tested it, if you move it left and right, it'll also convolve it in stereo, so you can create a stereo IR if that's what you like. So hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the things you can do with MCabinetMB. I tried to show like some bare bones usages of this, but there's more things you can do with this. Like when I showed the level and you said, oh, there's the level here, you can move it back and forth. There's things you can do in here with the modulators. Like, for example, I could have it fall in LFO, so it's blending between them over time. I could have it try to follow the pitch if I'm doing something monophonic, so as I'm playing higher, it changes IR. I could have it use like a follower of the envelope, where as I hit it harder, it changes IRs or just moves randomly between IRs. There's all sorts of really weird and crazy things you could do with this if you want to get creative. But hopefully this is enough, I think, for one video. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave me any comments down below, and check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Until next time, see you.